So let's take a look at a features overview of the Moog Minitaur. I've got a little MIDI riff to play here, so a couple of notes, and we'll start over the oscillator section. So of course the volume control here. We've got this oscillator section here. We can set the oscillators to the voltage controlled oscillators. We can set them to either a sawtooth wave or a square wave. If it's flashing, then it's a square wave, so square wave. Sawtooth. A level here for the oscillator. That's VCO1. VCO2 is turned down, so bring this in now. And again, the same control, sawtooth or square. We have this frequency control over here. So VCO1 acts as the master oscillator, and then VCO2 is tuned to VCO1. You can offset the frequency of VCO2 here for unison style effects. And it goes plus or minus 1 octave, so slight detuning, we get quite fat sounds. Or we could actually kind of do chords to some extent. 3 semitones up, 1 octave up. It's one of my favourite parts of the Minotaur, really, that frequency, detuning those oscillators, really fat sounds. We can fine tune the pitch here, if we wish to. This little control here snaps. It kind of locks in the middle, so you know that you've got the pitch set to 0 there, or the fine tune set to 0. We've got a MIDI light there, so that indicates that we're receiving MIDI data, which is very useful. And then we've got this filter section. It's a 24 dB slope filter, classic Moog filter sound. So you've got the cutoff frequency, and really well designed because you've got a nice big control, because the cutoff, I mean, that's where most people are going to start heading, start tweaking around. So nice bit of space around the cutoff control just to sweep around. Resonance, and it's a self-oscillating filter, so you can actually make quite nice kick drum sounds using the Minotaur. We'll come to that shortly once I've gone through all the different features. But yeah, thanks to the self-oscillation of this filter, you can create kick drum sounds using the Minotaur. You've got an envelope amount here. So this is how much of the filter has been sent to this envelope. So this is a modulation envelope, this top envelope. So, and you can go plus or minus, so you can reverse the envelope shape here. And if you've used a Mini Moog or a Mini Moog emulation, you'll be familiar with that EG amount, that control, the amount of send to the filter envelope. You've also got the amplitude envelope here. And the controls on the envelope, you've got attack. So you've got a decay and a sustain. And also, another feature you might be familiar with having used Mini Moog emulations and what have you, is the decay and release can be linked together using this button here. So if it's off, you just have a decay control, no release. Turn this on, and this also acts as a release. And same controls for the amplitude envelope and the filter envelope. We have glide control here. We can turn the glide on. Beautiful glide. And then the amount of glide we can set here. And you can also have a legato with the Minitaur, and you can tweak the legato. We'll look at that in the plug out when we start getting into the plug out and goes under the hood a little bit more. So and finally over here you have a little modulation section, and it's an LFO. I can send this to the oscillators to modulate the pitch using an LFO, and then change the LFO rate. And I can also send the LFO to control the filter. And what's really nice, again with the plug out, is that we can actually tempo sync this LFO to the host DAW tempo, which is really nice. And I mean, as you can hear, the sound is incredible. Real analog, beautiful, beautiful sound. And we can actually tweak a lot further and get a little bit more deeper using the plug out software if you want. But essentially what I love about this is it's so simple, it's hands-on, and it's just fat sounds. And if you're after those great, you know, classic Moog sounding bass and lead sounds, you know, it's just very, very intuitive interface, very easy to use. Okay, so yeah, the final thing I'll show you, if we wanted to make a kick drum sound with this, say, we're going to look at making some more sounds in some of the later videos, but if I wanted to make a kick drum sound and use the self-oscillating filter here, we'll take the modulations off, just retune the beat frequency. Actually, we could probably just use one oscillator for this sound. Resonance really high, cutoff really low, quite a low pitch. Sharp attack, fast attack, no sustain, and tweak the decay. And okay, we got there in the end. But using that self-oscillating filter, resonance right high. Tweak that decay. And you've got a really nice analog sounding kick. Beautiful sound. You could maybe layer that with something with a bit more transient in, and there you go. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.